Now, I know Albert Einstein is known for, the Academy is known for their hands-on teaching. So how would you go about making this something that is touchable, relatable? What do you do to make the students relate to what they're reading?
Well, that's definitely really important to me. I think learning in general should just be experiential. When you look back on high school, how many days do you really remember?
The ones I fell asleep. Those are memorable.
Exactly. And so because of that, you try to really make an impact. And for example, we just finished reading the Odyssey and I had them bring in Greek food. And then when we read the part where the Cyclops eats the men, I brought in cookies that look like men so we could chomp them and, talk about the bones being crushed. And that always is fun. But for To Kill a Mockingbird, they're also going to bring in food because I love food. They're going to bring in Southern food. And
well, I think there's something to be said for when your senses get employed with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I think that's probably a really good teaching method because even they say like memorizing something, that's sort of tactile, I think that's brilliant.
It's true. And, food, it's so much a part of, regions and customs. It says something about the people and, what their agriculture is, what they do for a living, how poor or rich they are. There's so much to it. So,
what did they bring for To Kill a Mockingbird?
Well, we haven't brought it in yet, but they will be bringing Southern dishes, and I'm sure I'll be getting a lot of cornbread and some fried okra and some other great dishes.
Now, I have a question. What brought you to English? What was the thing that was the spark to make you go in this direction?
Probably like a lot of teachers, I had some really inspirational teachers. They brought it to life. They made me care about it, and they made me feel like I was really talented at writing and responding to it. I think, when you feel good about it and what you're doing, you want to pursue that as a career.
Now, did you have a favorite book that you were growing up or when you were learning that you have shared with your students or you're getting ready to share with your students?
You know what? There's so many that I love, but I was always a big fan of Ray Bradbury. And so I gave the kids Fahrenheit 451 and The Martian Chronicles. And I love it because there's a lot of kids who maybe don't usually love English or love reading who get really excited when they're reading those books and they get really enthralled, and that's exciting.
Now, I had a question for you before. I had wondered if you had like your dream field trip or project, what would...
Well, that's really exciting. We are going to be seeing To Kill a Mockingbird on stage in a couple weeks, and I just took them to the Getty Center, but my ideal would be to travel. I love to travel. I feel like those are the best educational experiences I've ever had.
It's the thing that opened my eyes to want to learn more, especially about history. Once I actually got to go out and touch things that were historical or places that were steeped in history, I just wanted more. So I kind of agree. Where would you like to, if it was a fantasy, I always say if pigs, if you were a farmer and pigs could fly, where would you send them? Where would you want to go?
And I believe we could make it happen, honestly, but I would love to take them to England. I would love to take them to see where the original Globe Theatre was. I would also love to take them to the Lake District and where the Romantic poets were writing. And I've told them because I've been there, and it's really as magical. There's so many places where you go and it's a disappointment. It is as magical as you believe, and you see this is why they were inspired to write this incredible poetry that we're reading, all over the world years and years later. And
I think that's wonderful. Now, I had asked you beforehand if you had taught high school, you had taught junior high, and I loved your answer. Would you tell me why you used to teach junior high, why you decided to start teaching high school? I loved your answer, and I'd like to share that.
Oh, thank you. Well, I loved my students that I had. I mean, whatever students I have, I always, connect with.
And that makes me admire you because junior high kids are tough.
You know what? I had block schedule 7th grade at the end of the day. And you know what? We just bonded. It was just, sometimes they're, I'll take credit for a little bit, give them credit, and then there's just something magical that happens in the connection and the circuitry in a classroom. And
then something else drove you to teach high school.
I loved it, but the literature of high school just interests me more. I love having the deep discussions, like we're reading 1984. I mean, the discussions we have, the Orwellian prophecies that have come to fruition, I might not be able to have that in the same way with junior high kids that I can have with my sophomores.
It's a really wonderful message for kids who are just now coming up the ranks to look forward to that really exciting material. It's so nice that you get to get lost in the world of words, but to know that there's an even bigger world of words is very exciting. I think you have a very exciting subject.
Thank you. Well put. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, again, Colline Cohen, she is with the Albert Einstein Academy. She is their high school English teacher and business academy director. If people want to learn more about Albert Einstein, where would you lead them? Where would you tell them to go to learn more about what you do and what the school stands for, what you stand for? Would you send them to the website? Would you tell them, this is,
Yeah, they can certainly go to the website, and if you're interested in your child attending, we do offer tours and have a buddy
open
system.
Houses on occasion and things where people can come and see?
We do have a back to school night, but there are discussion, like
where you
open discussions where people can come in and ask questions.
So if you want to learn more, the Albert Einstein Academy website, ealas.org. They are a wonderful school here in our valley, and I thank you for coming and sharing your experience with your students and what you have there at the school. It sounds like a really wonderful place to be.
It really, really is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colleen.
The powerhouse fire continues to blaze and 30 homes have been destroyed.
Hello, I'm George Cummings with your SCV News Break.